Let's see what is poetry, why poetry is used. Poetry has tremendous appeal for children, and it is the best way of exciting their love of language. Procedure of poetry. Teaching procedure of poetry involves following steps: preparation, presentation, comprehension or appreciation, and the last one, home assignment. General aims at primary level: to enable the students to recite the poem with proper rhyme and intonation, to enable the students to enjoy the recitation of the poem, to develop the students' power of imagination, to train the emotions of the students, and the last one, to develop love for poetry reading and writing. At secondary or higher secondary level, general aims of poetry are to enable the students to appreciate the poem, to enable them to understand the thought and imagination contained in the poem, to appreciate the rhyme and rhythm and style of the poem, to train the emotions, feelings, and imagination of the students, to develop their aesthetic sense, and to create love for English poetry. Let's have a look at specific aims. To enable the students to recite the poem, namely with proper rhyme and rhythm, to enable the students to enjoy the recitation of that poem, to understand the central idea of the poem, to communicate the exclusive message of the poem to the students, to enable them to appreciate the beauty and images depicted in the poem. Material aids. A suitable material aid can be used depending on the theme and content of the poem. Introduction. Introduction of the poem can be done in different ways. First one is parallel poem that describes the similar theme or similar emotion may be read. Second one, by giving a brief summary of the poem pertaining to the background and general theme of the poem, and then asking a few questions on it. By giving a live sketch, poetic style, and characteristics of the poet. If the poem is descriptive, a picture can be shown. 2 or 3 questions on the picture can be asked. This is the step preparation. Next, we state the aims. After that, we present the poem. The presentation stage consists of the following points. Model recitation. Model recitation by the teacher. Recitation is the soul of poetry. Reading a poem with proper rhythm, stress, and intonation is of vital significance. The model recitation by the teacher helps the students to experience or feel the poem in its totality without going into other detail. Imitation reading by the students. The teacher asks 2 or 3 students one by one to recite the poem in the same manner he has recited. This requires a lot of practice on the part of the students and helps the students to enjoy the recitation and feel the music and beauty of its language. Next step is meaning of difficult words. The exposition of words are not done in detail while teaching of poetry. Only those difficult words or phrases which create hindrance in the comprehension of the poem should be explained. Difficult words are not taught through poetry, they are taught through prose. Silent reading of the poem by the students. During this step, the students may be asked to read the poem silently and grasp the theme of the poem. At the primary stage, silent reading can be avoided. Chorus recitation. At the primary stage, the students enjoy the recitation of the poem in chorus. It helps them in overcoming their shyness. Students may be asked to recite the poem in a group. Comprehension or appreciation. After several readings of the poem, the teacher puts some questions to test the comprehension of the theme of the poem. These questions should be simple and short. Appreciation questions are asked on the appreciation of beauty of language, thought, emotion, and images of the poem. The students may be asked to pick out the rhyming words, to complete the lines, to explain the central idea of the poem. Home assignment. Children can be asked to memorize the poem or do some creative work or write the gist of the poem in their own words.